So now I'm one block over from Roman Polanski's home, one of his homes, and the Madstrich factory, which was the outskirts of the ghetto. Now we're in the ghetto again. Everything here is in the ghetto. And this here is Zucker Synagogue. It's very interesting that they didn't destroy it. It was built in the 1880s. It served a small Jewish community that lived in this neighborhood back in those days. Again, Kazimierz was where the bulk of Krakow's Jews lived. It was allowed to stand during the Holocaust, during the ghetto time, but it was not allowed to be used as a synagogue, of course. But this is the one ghetto synagogue that's still around, that was never used during the time as a synagogue. It's not used today as a synagogue either. It's not a synagogue, but it still has remnants of the Jewish the historic architecture of the 1880s and up to the 1930s, when it was used as a synagogue before the war. All right, just going to, I don't think I can enter that way, but this is 5 Wiegerska, 7 Wiegerska, which I don't think I can get into. Maybe I can. There's a courtyard back here I can maybe get into and see. No, there's a courtyard back there, but I can't get back there. This courtyard here is the Optima factory courtyard. It was a deportation site. First used as a test site to deport folks in March of 1942. And later in June it was used to round up hundreds of Jews. They were stuck back here in the hot sun for hours and hours, no water, no food, no toilets. Many were beaten and dragged from this site to the railroad station outside the ghetto and taken to Belzec, where they were exterminated. This courtyard back here, which we can't quite see all of it, but it's back there. Okay. It's a nice neighborhood now. You know, they have all the sites talking about. This is the synagogue again we went by before. So, in many new buildings, some of the, quite a few look the same as they did back in the 1930s. For the historic value, they're pretty generic buildings. You can see why Spielberg picked Kazimierz, if you saw the other video with Kazimierz, over this neighborhood, because it looks much more historic than this one. This one clearly could have passed for it in some areas, but doesn't look quite as period as the one in Kazimierz. So. Where we're going now is we're going to go to we saw the courtyard for the Optima factory. I want to go around to the front of the Optima factory so you can see that as well. The Optima factory was run as a chocolate manufacturer, a furrier and a shoemaker, so very diverse building, very diverse manufacturer. It was Jewish run until May of '42, and then German operators took over. And many of the folks who worked there, though, were also saved from deportation, like the Schindler Jews. Schindler and the owner of the factory knew each other well, and the Jews were, if not saved, they at least prolonged their life by working at the factory. This is now, we're coming up on Krakow Street again. So it's, alright, so just down this block at 7 Krakow Street. There's one. There's Optima. It has a sign still on the building, Optima Factory. If you want to buy it, you can go buy it as well. It's for sale, it looks like, or you can maybe live there. I'm not sure if it's a rent an apartment in the Optima Factory, but looks like undergoing renovations as we speak. So this is 7 Krakow, the Optima Factory. Again, behind it was the courtyard where people were deported, but one of the three was the Madrich and the Optima. This is the one that's fully in the ghetto. Madrich one was in the ghetto as well, with the outside of it being outside the ghetto. That's rich. Coming up along this main street, coming up at Diego Street at 15. There's a hospital for the chronically ill. Not a good place to be if you're in the ghetto. But you know, it was trying to keep people who are elderly and very sick alive. So people who wealthier people who had more than at least enough to survive, and a little bit more gave to try to save or prolong the lives of those who were ill or old as long as they could. So at 15, which is this nice new looking building over here, this was the site for the elderly and chronically ill. There's a 15 brick building. Well, in June of '42, many folks were hidden here and had their deportation. Some of them posed as residents of the facility. Some of them, you know, they were able to serve. If they were here in June, they were spared. If they were not here, if they got here in the October deportation, they were still here. They were forced to be deported. They weren't able to get out of their bed and go to the area to be deported. They were shot in their beds again. So this is a site of not only of self-help and sacrifice to keep poor people, sick people, old people alive, but also the site of execution and an extermination and murder, people in their beds. So this was a interesting site, I guess. Horrific things happen in this building, like many other places that are along